This woman survived being mauled by her friend's pet chimpanzee. This is Charla Nash, and in 2004 she moved to Stamford, Connecticut with her daughter to work at her friend's tow truck company. Sandra Harold, along with her husband Jerome, owned this tow truck company, and their mascot for the business was their pet chimpanzee, Travis. But Travis was way more than a mascot to them. He was more like their child. He was Sandra's constant companion and became very well known in the community, and was even known to greet police officers they would encounter when towing cars. And at home, Travis was like their child. He had his own bedroom, he ate at the table with them, he could dress himself, he opened doors using keys, and he even fed the horses. But even though Travis had been socialized around humans his whole life, he had intense outbursts, and once even chased a man down the street, he ran through traffic, jumped on cars, all while running from the police. And that definitely should have been a warning sign, especially since a primatologist informed animal control that Travis was now a fully sexualized adult and had the strength of 5 men, meaning he's dangerous. Over the years, Charla would help Sandra feed Travis from time to time, but he was always in his cage. She had actually only ever interacted with him out of his cage 2 times, and that was way before he was at his full-grown weight of 200 pounds. However, on the morning of February 16, 2009, Travis had gotten a hold of Sandra's car keys and had left the house with them. And this was a problem because there actually had been a few occasions where Travis got a hold of the keys and then drove around in the car by himself. So Sandra quickly called Charla to try and help lure Travis back into the house. When Charla got there, she decided to grab one of Travis's favorite toys, which was his Tickle Me Elmo, to try and lure him back in. But when Travis saw Charla with his toy, it completely enraged him. He immediately launched himself at her and began tearing her apart, completely ripping through her face and hands. In a frenzy, Sandra tried to hit him over the head with a shovel to get him to stop, but nothing was working, so she called 911. She even tried stabbing Travis with a butcher knife, but that didn't work either. Once Officer Frank Giaffari got to the scene, after an excruciating 12 minutes, Travis focused in on him. He ran over to Frank's car and tore open the door. However, this encounter ended in Frank shooting Travis 4 times. Travis then ran off and then eventually passed away in his room. When officers found Charla, she was completely unrecognizable, and her body almost looked like just a pile of clothes on the ground. I'm not going to completely say the extent of Charla's injuries on TikTok, but it was brutal. He completely tore apart her face, he blinded her, and she lost her hands in the attack. It was a complete miracle that Charla had survived. Doctors were floored by the extent of her injuries and by the fact that she was awake through all of it. She underwent 72 hours of surgery and was in a coma for months. I'm not going to show the direct aftermath of the attack. However, over the years she has gone through a number of reconstructive surgeries, and in 2011 she even went through a 20-hour full face transplant. This whole scenario was just devastating. Charla went through an immense amount of struggles. However, thankfully since then she is fiercely independent and is overall just an incredible woman. This story is intense, but there are truly so many more details, so if you're interested in hearing Charla Nash's full story, tune in to episode 59 of my podcast called Not Today.